Rightio. Gonna turn down the music in my earphones a little bit because it somehow turned out to be a little bit deafening. I hope that the people that are listening right now can hear me all right. As previously, I did have some issues with this audio interface, but hopefully it works a little bit better now. Yeah, so what do we have in plans today? Well, first of all, this here is the cat-themed keyboard that I built during Mango Day, which generally I like, but it does have a few issues. Namely, the switch alignment is a bit off, and I think I pulled some of the pads when soldering when I couldn't get some switches to stick properly. So we are going to be trying to fix that. And second of all, we are going to try and tape mod or tempest mod the KBDFans Blade, and maybe we can do something about the spacebar as well, as it's currently a little bit slow on the return. So hopefully we'll be able to find a solution for that as well. And perhaps, if we're lucky, we're gonna get to turn on the infamous cat cam for a while, and then take a look at some of my cats as well. Once again, let's see here. You can hear, but music is a bit too loud comparing to microphone. Okay, let me try and fix that. How is this? Is this better? Should be like a good little boost to the mic volume. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, so well, without further ado, let me get my soldering mat. Then let's maybe go over the functionality of the Bakeneko 60 just to make sure that it currently works. And then see what we can do after that. This board, by the way, is a VAS60 R2, or the round 2 of the VAS60 that I built in stream a week ago. Yeah, a week ago. There's a build stream on YouTube, and I think later today I will record a full-on sound test of it as well. So, still voice could be louder than music. It's kind of lost with the music. Okay, yeah. Let me try and deal with that. Okay, I pulled down the music a little bit, so maybe it's a little bit better. Thanks. Right, get this key mat out of the way. I will try and bump up the voice volume a little bit as well, while I'm at it anyway. There we go. Should be a definite improvement now. Hopefully. Right, so let's try and get... Well, right, I'm trying to use keyboard shortcuts without having plugged in the keyboard, so let's try and get VIA up and running and take a look at what currently works and what doesn't. It's nice now? Great. Thank you very much for letting me know in a timely manner. I really do appreciate it. Right. There we go. So let's pop open the key tester. Turn on the key sounds. Oh, it actually does that nowadays. Dope keyboard meow. Yeah, these are probably the cheapest keycaps that I have. I think they were 49 USD or something, plus some for shipping, of course. But yeah, the quality is pretty nice. They're not double shot, of course. They are PBT, but I think they're produced by Milky Way. And they're like one of the first keycap sets from Milky Way to ship. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. The legends are absolutely adorable, so it's definitely worth it for me. Anyway. Alright, so immediately I can tell that the left shift is having issues registering, which kind of reminds me why I haven't really been using the board. I do use left shift quite often in all sorts of keyboard shortcuts, plus to, you know, type uppercase letters, so that we are definitely going to have to fix. From what it looks like, it doesn't work when I press it on like the left side of the keycap, which is a bit weird, but this is probably where I pulled one of the pads, so we'll be looking into that. Okay. Oop. We are not getting spacebar hits. Why are we not getting spacebar hits? Well, that's interesting. Let's try and turn off the test matrix. Okay, so basically the pin that was usually mapped to spacebar didn't really work there for some reason. Let's see if we can address that. Do we even have... Yeah, we do. Okay. Interesting that it like even worked at all. Just in case. Nope. What the hell? Okay, it works in this view, but it does not work in test matrix. So maybe there's something up with that we can maybe report as a bug later on. I also noticed that like every time I swap between the two views, the two options here, the two toggleable options here get reset. So that is also a little bit weird and maybe could do with like a bug report or something. But okay. Right, so we identified that we are having issues with the left shift, and I think there's a few switches that aren't Gateron cap yellows, so we might go ahead and fix those as well. Or well, not might, but absolutely will. I think there is an alpaca in here, so right. Rip Via, yeah. I have been having some weird issues with it every now and then, but I don't know. Trying really hard not to talk shit about things that might be user errors, so you know, it's whatever. Right, so here we have the one alpaca. Because I was building this live and didn't have all of my stuff with me and sort of ran out of keycaps. Or sorry, not keycaps, but key switches mid-build. So my good friend Valmar, who may or may not be present in this chat right now, did help me out and gave me one from his stash that he just happened to have with him. So I would actually feel a lot better about pulling some of these switches if the plate and PCB assembly were not inside the case, because it is very flexy. Also, hi Goniator, thank you for joining the stream for the first time, or at least chatting for the first time. I do really appreciate it. Were you the guy with the really cool looking Kibio Quefrency? I think you lurked once? Okay. You don't own any Alice layout? Okay. Preference was like the sort of standard staggered split that KeyBio makes. But I might be misremembering. Okay. Yeah, okay. So if we take a look at the backside of the PCB, let me zoom in a little bit as well. Then we can see that the connection here, well, what the hell has been done here? Doesn't look like I've properly soldered these. So no wonder they don't really work. That's pressure fit. Yeah, it has the unicorn mount, as people used to call it. It's just like an O-ring, like a fairly soft O-ring between the plate and the PCB that rests on like these little nubs inside the case. What made this kit very interesting for me was that, first of all, it was fairly cheap. I think it was like 129. I will get to the cat shelter point in a moment. I think it was like 129 USD for the entire kit with a hot swap PCB and a plate. And like not too much extra for a multi-layout PCB. And the base kit also included like a case. That's actually really nice. But I sort of got stung on shipping to Europe or to Estonia in specific. I think I paid more than like half of the keyboard's total cost in shipping and duties. So that kind of sucked, but like otherwise, like I am really happy with this keyboard. I just haven't been using it as much because yeah, it was like $80 for shipping. It is fairly bouncy. I can do like a flex or a bounce test a little bit later as well, but that's why I don't buy cheap keyboards from US. Yeah, mostly it's fine, but for some reason Canon Keys just charges through the teeth for shipping. They do have some really nice budget offerings, or like even non-budget offerings, like the Brutal 60 is a fairly nice board that they actually have in stock. But since the shipping is absolutely insane, then it's not really competitive. Right, so to address Pilates' comment, let's make a deal, make a donation to the cat shelter linked above, send me proof, and I'll make sure to give my cat some screen time for at least 1 minute per €1 donated. It's a win-win. That is true. When I wrote this, I had 2 cats. Now I have 4, or well, we're still on 2 cats plus 2 cats that we're sort of providing like a temporary test home for. If they get along with our cats just fine in the long term, then we will keep them. So there's, I think there's at least 1 cat that has never before been seen on this stream. Something similar is running on KeyGem right now, Seal 60 with internal weight. Yep. We already have too many wants and keyboards and trying to discard something. Can't browse Geekhack anymore, I believe. Yeah, it is a dangerous thing going on Geekhack with disposable income. Right, so that's the O-ring removed. As you can see, it's like really soft and quite flexy. Let's see. I need to get like a power solution onto my desk, so I will quickly get an extension cord. I will be right back. Right. Right, you've probably heard some quiet swearing. In case you did not exactly sign up for that, I am very sorry. I had to look for an extra extension cord, and things got a little ugly. All right, so K Prophet Tinned Qua.6 Oxymoron Equinox Candy Bar Vistera. Oh, and also Cassini. Yeah, that's an expensive wish list. So it's like 30 euros is 1 minute, is 30 minutes one cat, or 50 minutes two cats, like a cat show. Yeah, pretty much. Or like that's kind of what I'm aiming for anyway. Might try for extras and K. They are on the 1st, okay. Okay, there's still some blood on my knuckles? What? Where? Valmar, are you seeing things? Oh no. Okay, yeah, that's not blood. Okay, I get it. Sorry. Okay, so about this new soldering iron that I got to try it out last week when building the VAS60 R2, but take a look at how quickly it warms up, right? So currently it doesn't have anything displayed because, well, it's off. I'm gonna plug it in. Yeah. Right, so now we should be seeing numbers. We are not seeing numbers. Now we should be seeing numbers. Hello? God damn it, autofocus. Well, it's heating up really fast. Right, had to change the autofocus point a little bit, but as you can see, the temperature is kind of shooting up, which to me is really nice because I'm used to like my old soldering iron, and it like takes like at least 5 minutes to heat up, so that's nice. Don't touch the middle piece. Yeah, I wasn't. I have large hands, so I was like resting it here. No worries there. I think you would have heard if I had touched the middle piece. I'm swinging it like crazy. Yeah, well, I have a lot of open desk space in front of me, so I can be liberal with my movements. Not trying to like poke anyone's eye out with a hot poker or anything, but you know. Okay, so first order of business, I am going to try and make sure that I get this switch soldered. Let me make sure that I'm all the way zoomed in. I am. Mind the cats, there is one in this room that I think I will be able to show you in a bit. Okay, that still didn't flow properly. Right, let's go ahead and quickly test the connection that we made as well. The solder joints still look pretty bad, to be honest. But if it does make contact, then that's fine. If it doesn't, we can bridge these pins to the to the pads next to the switch connection, and it should like still map to the same place in the key matrix, so we should be good. Right, I cannot test this without the case because it's using a daughter board. So you have to do this number. Right, so every time I need to every time I need to connect the JST motherboard, I end up fumbling for like a good minute or so trying to figure out which way the connector is supposed to go in. But it seems like we did figure it out this time around. Okay, that's the connection made. Let's pop open the key tester. I'm not going to switch, well actually might as well. Right, so even very light taps now properly register, which is a really good sign. So that key should be good. We will be trying it later with a stab, or sorry, with a key, but for now, let's call it good. Every time I remove the daughter board cable, I just really sort of, well, I get terrified of like potentially breaking the JST connector or the cable because they do feel a little bit flimsy. But you know, all right. So the next thing that we're going to do is that we are going to be pulling some more caps, trying to find which exact switch we should swap out in addition to the alpaca. Because if I remember correctly, Valmar or Northhound in this chat actually gave me one of his GAT yellows, and I would just like to make sure that they're all from the same batch and everything. Okay, I thought that today is going to be the fateful day where I'm going to be able to try out my new Rama switch puller, because I've had the old one for a while and kind of, while I do like the shape and the ergonomics of it, then its functionality was a bit hindered by the fact that it's incredibly soft. But conveniently, I'm not able to find it right now, so we're gonna have to do with this guy. It's like $3 on KBDFans or something. Let's pull some more caps. Oh. It's really nice. What's really nice? The alpaca switch, the lone alpaca switch. The caps, yeah, they are absolutely adorable. It's probably like my favorite budget keycap set right now. And technically, since they are black on white PBT, then like even if you do want like some more obscure European layouts or like Japanese sub legends or whatever, then you can probably find like a keycap set that the novelties will go with. So you can mix and match and really make it your own. Was wondering about the lone different switch before, yeah. Soldering this in beat, not finishing the build, so that was an easy decision to make. Right, do we already see which one of these caps should not belong here? I think it had the Gatoron logo on the switch housing the other way around, but as you can see, or maybe can't. I'm not sure how the camera renders this detail. The logos here, or the ones that I can see at least, are all the same way around. Let's see, do I find one that has a different housing than the other ones? I'll just go ahead and pull all of the caps. So are yours? If you take a look at your gut yellows, which way around is the Gatoron logo? The logo should face you. Okay. Yeah, mine face away from JWK small, Gatoron sometimes too big. What do you mean? Stems? Okay. Yeah, I haven't really had any issues with that, fortunately. Okay, one thing that I am having issues with is that since I am using a half plate, then it is incredibly easy when removing switches from like the middle 3 rows to just like shoot past the keycap and get the keycap puller stuck around the switch. So I kind of need to be really mindful of this to like not accidentally try and yank something out of the PCB. Yeah, I haven't really had issues with the fit for keycaps versus keycap stems. I know some people were describing horror stories with some Kale box switches, I think. But since that's not really my jam, then I haven't really run into this. I have a mil-maxed keyboard, and sometimes when pulling the keycap out, it comes out with the switch. Yeah, that happens all the time. Especially if you are running like an acrylic plate that's thicker than like sort of the part that the switch clips with. That's why you got rid of your MT3 PPT collection. It was really tight. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I think SA Symbiosis was like fairly tight around the stems. But I cannot really check because I sold it to a friend in the local community not too long ago. All right, so let's try and find the imposter. Another thing that I just realized is that the cap yellows and, well, all other kinds of older Gatoron switches should have different backs, or like the middle pin should be different. For gut yellows, or cap yellows, as you can see, the sort of middle stem part is hollow. If the camera would ever focus, there we go. And for normal switches, like the alpaca, you can see that it's solid. You got Skyrater, and it's loose on JWK, so loose that the enter pops out with Durox stabs on ISO. Wow, okay. That does sound fairly loose. What the hell? Did I end up finding the correct switch after all? Because apart from the alpaca here, I can't seem to be able to find another odd one out. Okay, let me go over the alignments of the switch housings then. I don't know. Seems legit to me. Should change the title. Oh crap. Okay. Let me fix that. I completely forgot about that. Whoop. Stream info. There we go. Thank you very much for reminding me, Valmar. I completely forgot. Okay, now that we have the caps off, we need to desolder this switch. I am going to use a combination of a solder wick, which I actually haven't used for a while, and a solder pump or a solder sucker. Let's see if we can heat up the solder joint first. I am currently at 355 degrees Celsius on my soldering iron, which may or may not be enough. I am sort of noticing that this tip is not exactly suitable for soldering keyboards or like these slightly larger contacts. So I might have to try and get like a slightly wider one. Okay, let's take a look and see where that got us. Not nearly close enough, unfortunately. Right. So let's try the solder wick. Let's try wicking the solder from the pads. This is also going to take a while because the soldering iron that I'm using, while it is nicer than my previous one, it's also less powerful wattage-wise. So it takes a little bit more time to heat up the wick and the pad. Okay, one side looks fairly clean. I think I am sort of starting to run into the danger of stripping the PCB. But let's see about that. Right, so that's definitely better, but still not quite there. So I think I might have to sort of brute force it in that I attach the switch puller, and then one leg at a time, I just like sort of try and flow the joint and pull it loose. This PCB is not exactly going to love me afterwards, but whatever. Right. Actually, in order to properly be able to do this, I'm going to reflow the joints as well. If there's more solder here, then I get better heat transfer from the iron to the switch legs. So. So we are basically back to where we started from. When and how did my keyboard hobby start with? It's your second time watching my stream. Haven't bumped into this information yet. Okay, so about 2 years ago, or in November or December 2019, I finally took the plunge and I built this is going to look awful because it has a lot of cat hair in it, but I built this guy. Which is a Keeb.io Quefrency, a split keyboard with a TRRS 3.5mm cable in between the two halves. It has discrete microcontrollers for either side. So these are actually like Arduino Pro micros that I soldered into place. And 3D printed med layers. And I built these with Xylants, which was a massive overkill for my first build. I thought I liked tactiles and I thought I wanted to be quiet. So I went for quiet tactiles, like the premium kind. Well, as you can maybe tell from my channel's name, I actually really like the clack, and it has since turned out that I am 100% in the linear gang, so that keyboard doesn't really see much use, but I do still keep it around because it was the first one that I built. So yeah, from then on, I think like a few months after, I built a hot swap board, a Tofu 60 in polycarbonate, that actually now belongs to Northhound in this chat. I managed to get him into the hobby as well. Right, so this is taking really long. I'm kind of tempted to plug in my other soldering iron just for doing this. How do I keep myself from buying too many expensive keyboards? I try to, but I do have 3 more boards in the way, so it's like my strategy's obviously not super effective, unfortunately. I do sort of get excited about more budget boards, because like I do really like this hobby, and I do think that it should be sort of accessible to a lot more people than it is right now. So like all of this tango around really expensive aftermarket boards, and like I don't know, like charging 700 euros in the aftermarket for something that you bought for like 200. It's doesn't sit super well with me. So like I primarily get excited about new budget boards, even though like technically I could perhaps afford the nicer ones as well. I also have common sense called Nella. Yeah, my fiancée does sort of keep me with 2 feet underground as well. Although like she doesn't really care what I spend my own money on, so. All right, so like heating the wick up along with the solder joint is not really working, so I'm gonna unplug this iron. And bring in the big guns. Right, so this is my old soldering iron. As you can see, there is a substantial sort of difference in bulk. And also a substantial difference in power or wattage. Or not. This says that it's 30 watts. I think this is 60. But like for some reason I'm having much more success with the larger one. More surface area is more better, yeah. That is like one of the things that I mentioned as well, that I should like sort of get like a wider tip for the new soldering iron, but I just sort of haven't gotten around to it yet. Let's see how this guy's doing. Yeah, that's gonna take a while to heat up, so. You can measure the temperature with a smaller one. Unfortunately not. I think it like measures the temperature of the heating element somewhere inside here. Plus, when it's not plugged in, it doesn't show anything, so. You lie to yourself that buying some of the keyboards from your list and you will be done buying keyboards. Yeah, the end game is a lie. I think we all know that by now. And our wallets very well know that as well. It's still waiting for this guy to heat up. One thing that I want to sort of point out is that I absolutely love how chatty people are today. You like to be able to tell, yeah, these are the keyboards that you love and you see no point in having others. Yeah. Well, like, sort of a massive part of the appeal in this hobby for me is like the sort of building and customizing element. How often do I stream? It's very therapeutic to watch. It's kind of chaotic. Like, I'm trying to make it like every other Monday or so, but like before my previous stream there were like a few weeks where I didn't do anything. Before that there was like 2.5 months or something. So like technically, while I do have things to do in the hobby, then like actually bringing myself to stream isn't super easy all the time. You guys are gonna make me blush. I do also have D&D streams, yes, but those are in Estonian, so unless you know Estonian, you are kind of out of luck there. And this is going much better than it was before. Yoink. Okay, this is definitely going better than it was with the previous soldering iron. I might try and use the solder pump here as well. I do have the Hako desoldering gun on the way, but I'm not sure when that's going to arrive, and I did want to stream today, so. Estonia seemed like a small, nice country. Perhaps should visit one day, but I bet the temps are the same as theirs, so too hot during summer. We have been getting really hot summers lately. Like this summer we had like a few weeks where it was like consistently over 30 degrees. And like the problem with our houses is that they're built to sort of keep heat in. So basically there's no way in hell you can, or well, I mean, there are ways, but like it's really difficult to sort of get your room to be colder than the outside. And that was kind of really exhausting after a little while. Okay, we are definitely doing better now, so I'm gonna try and get the switch now. Where are you from, Koniotor? Poland? Okay. Yeah, it's like probably exactly the same. If there's a difference, it's like marginal. All right, nearly done. Aha! We emerge victoriously. So on that note, I am actually going to unplug the soldering iron. And find like a safe place for it to cool down. Also, guess what I found? Alright, there we go. It's definitely out of the way and should have plenty of space to cool down. Alright, so taking a look at the PCB, we can see that the traces are completely messed up, which I'm not entirely happy about, but hopefully we will get it to work, and if we don't, then, well, there's some hand wiring magic that we can do to bridge some rows and some columns, so we'll get there in the end. I do need to go and find the rest of my GAT yellows, so I will be right back. Right, so we are in a bit of a pickle. I could not find the spare GAT yellows that I had. I know that I have a bunch because I did buy 2 boxes of 45 or 35, and this only uses like 60-ish. Which is especially silly considering we just potentially fucked up the PCB by unsoldering a switch just to make sure that all of them are the same. So my fallback option, let me see, maybe they're here. Nope. Okay, so my fallback option is to either solder in a Gateron black or a box yellow. I am going to turn the music back on as well, just a moment. There we go. Okay. Why not the switch that was meant to be there? Well, that's what I was sort of trying to find and didn't. So that's the reason. Okay, so fallback plan is desoldering the spacebar, using the spacebar switch for Q, and then putting something else for putting in something else for the spacebar, because that's like okay if it feels slightly different than the rest of them. Okay, I am fairly upset over this, but oh well, live and learn. Actually, let me check one more, please. Nope, I have absolutely no idea where they are. Yikes. Okay. Well, that's a blunder and a half. Let's try and see if just like up and turning or increasing the temperature on my soldering iron like changes anything as well. I have set it to 450 degrees, which is its maximum. It's just not going to go higher. So what happened? I could not find the switch that I was meant to put here. So we're desoldering the spacebar, putting the spacebar switch here, and then doing something else with the spacebar. I cannot fucking believe this. Sounds like a classic Bakeneko stream. Yeah, I don't like. This is my third stream about this board, and things have gone wrong in every single one of them. So let's see how the new Rama switch puller works. Okay, it's so much sturdier than the previous one. Right, sorry you guys on stream cannot see this, but I'm basically trying to sort of brace the PCB against something so that like I have a little bit of leverage on my pull. Okay, there we go. We got this one loose without too much damage. That's great. Going to try and wick a little bit more of this. Right. I'm going to try and wick a little bit more of this loose solder away from here. Okay, that didn't really do much. Okay, we're gonna have to be really careful putting this back in. But okay, we now have a switch. I'm going to sort of clean up the solder residue on here a little bit as well, because currently I don't think I could get it in properly. There we go. Yeah, the trace has been pulled for like one of the pin legs. So I'm gonna like try and... I'm wondering if the camera is going to pick this up, but like basically here... it's not exactly a macro lens, so like it's having a rough time focusing on it, but like one of the traces on the PCB is like fairly damaged. It's like okay in the sense that like I'm probably not like going to sell this board anyway, because I do really like the typing feel and all, but still a little bit of a bummer. I think there will be a Bakeneko restock soon, so maybe I can pick up a spare PCB or something. Pretty good still, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like still intact in the sense that like the copper trace isn't separated in like a whole separate piece from like the PCB, but still not exactly something that I'm proud of. Okay. We have a hello from Not Bad. Hello. Great question. Shoot. If it's about buying followers, then what is ableist? You're not English native and just read the chat rules and do not know what that means. Okay, probably the best way to sort of explain what that is to kindly ask you to like find a definition off of Google. But in general, like, don't try and put down people that perhaps have some disabilities, or don't call people the R word, basically. Just don't do that and you should be fine. We don't really have like the angry ranty gamer vibe here anyway, so I think we should be safe for the most part. Right. I am going to quickly lube the switch that I'm going to use for the spacebar. This is a Gateron Milky Black. Yeah, basically what the Casper said. Okay, so in a whole ass series of unfortunate events, I'm not sure where my loop brush... Oh, okay, here it is. Ooh, that was a close call. Had a power outage? Googled the word. That's disgusting that some people are like that. Yeah. There's all kinds of weird folk out there. But like, basically just be a decent human, and like, if you are a decent human, you're not going to be super tempted to like insult anyone in this chat anyway, so... So I'm going to add a small drop of oil in either end of the spring. There we go. We're in a meeting, but keeping one eye on the chat, okay? Anyway, how am I today? I'm doing good. I had a somewhat productive workday, and now I am dealing with one of my favorite hobbies. So, like, I'm doing good. I've been a lot worse. Okay, the spring weight is quite different from the yellows, but well, actually, you know. I could spring swap it with a box yellow. Ah, there we go. Wow, this is a black spring. That's interesting. I had no idea. Oh, it's got milky blacks. Sorry, box yellows use black springs. Got back from a motorcycle ride, couldn't pass on the weather this time of year. I'm guessing that was not in Estonia because our weather wasn't like anything to write home about necessarily. Co-worker came into work on his bike. Yeah, I cannot imagine it being like very sort of comfortable motorcycling or cycling for that matter when it's like 5 degrees of warmth outside. You're maybe not fortunate but happy that your productive time is also your hobby. Nice. That is actually how I feel about my work, like my day-to-day work. on most days. Just kind of really stoked to be hacking around on code. What's my take on the new Apple chips? Am I into tech? Yes, I am. And this is something that sort of not necessarily affects me personally, but it's like something that I keep my eye on as a software developer, especially as a software developer that vastly prefers using Apple computers to Windows computers, or to some slightly less mature options like Linux. My take on them, it's a bit silly that they've sort of kind of, how do I put this? I don't think it's very cool of them to disguise some super basic stuff like support past 2 monitors as pro features and sort of charge extra for the M1X chip. I don't know. It's like I understand that there like should be like a logical limit somewhere as to how many monitors you should be able to use with a computer without like any crazy hacks, but I mean 2 is like sort of the standard, and like 3 is not really that uncommon. So like them limiting the M1 chip to just 2 kind of comes off as a cash grab, for me at least. Like, of course, I'm not like entirely aware of like the architectural implications that has, how many PCIe lanes are dedicated to it, etc. But still, like, it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Isn't that purely limited by memory bandwidth, or is it somehow internally limited? As far as I know, it is internally limited in the sense that you just don't have hardware support for more than 2 monitors at once on an M1 chip, like a standard M1 chip. Which, you know, I mean, I only really use one external monitor, but it is like an ultra wide, or like a 32:9 aspect ratio, which like equates to using 2 27-inch panels side by side. And like I have sort of considered getting like a 3rd monitor above them, or like, sorry, a 2nd monitor above them. So like if instead of like the ultra wide I were on 2 27-inch panels, then like I would be screwed with the new M1 chip. There we go. Played with Arduino recently. Bought one because though TS is going to be boring, you're getting 5 more. You bought one because you thought TS is going to be boring, you're getting 5 more today. Oh, because it's going to be boring. Okay. What sort of made you take the plunge then? Okay, Cognitor, I see. Does higher res and higher refresh rate screens chop some of the memory bandwidth, or memory bandwidth they noted 200 and 400 gigabytes per second is just about GPU and CPU, and there's separate memory lane for each, and they're both not counted into that. I'm not sure, to be fair. As I said, I'm not like super familiar with the M1 architecture, or like sort of the chipset architecture that sort of revolves around that. I would guess that like at 200 gigabits per second, like you're like running out of bandwidth for an external monitor is probably the least of your concerns. Even if we're talking about some crazy resolutions like 8K at like 10 or 12 or 16-bit depth, that should still be more than enough. Once again, like I haven't really done the math, but it just sort of the sort of memory bandwidth that they quoted in their like new presentations should exceed well and beyond like any amount of displays. This is why you're getting more Arduinos, for keyboards and one for playing. Okay, Pro Micros are. We hope for kind of bigger performance on them, though given on just a couple of lists there were right now. Okay, Could you elaborate on that point, Konyator? I'm not sure I quite caught that. Might be a bit slow today. Where's my solder? Ah. We found locally pro micros with USB-C port, $8.35 for one. That's a really good deal. I do have a few, but I think I paid like 15 to 20 USD for each. They're the Elite C variant. So like if those are becoming cheaper, or like if an equivalent is becoming cheaper, then that's pretty cool, I think. I kind of hope to match 3060 desktop. It doesn't always seem to be the case. Price is steep, so you expect it for the price. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, in the end of the day, like, you're still looking at a really high performing chip in a case that barely needs any active cooling. So like what they have done with the performance is really impressive. I think eGPU support was only on the M1X chips as well. So it might be the case of just like more sort of more PCIe lanes or whatever they call it in the ARM world. There's no eGPU support on M1, M1 Max, or M1 Pro. Oh, okay. Some DisplayLink docks support more monitors than M1s. You can kind of game on some games on Mac Air. Gets like a bit warm after an hour of Divinity 2. Okay. So DisplayLink, does that mean like sort of multiplexing over one cable and then just like daisy chaining the monitors, or? Like not super familiar with this tech, because like as I said, I only use one monitor. Okay, that should be good. But yeah, I kind of feel that like I'm perhaps not the target audience for like a super high performance MacBook. I mean, I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro from 2019, I think. And for what I do, which is like primarily web development, and involves like running upwards of like 20 Docker containers at once, and like a few editors and like a few Chrome tabs, like it's fine. I'm just irritated by Windows day after day not really liking the direction they have, and Mac just seems more suited for productivity. That I agree on. You pretty much don't play games anymore, but might just want to wait for second gen Mac Mini, even though the first one didn't even come out. I do play video games, so like I have a separate desktop build for playing games and for like video editing and stuff, with like a beefy Ryzen CPU and like a 30 series graphics card. Like this is sort of not the kind of performance that I expect out of a productivity oriented laptop to begin with, but like I sort of see the value for people that get just like one computer for doing both work and leisure stuff. Okay, anyway, before I went on that rant, I actually wanted to check for how badly aligned like a few of these keycaps are. Like I know that there is definitely an issue here. You can see that like the O is crooked. Actually going to maybe try and use keycaps from the same row profile for this. You work by PC as well, so after 8 hours by PC, you don't really want to sit at your desk anymore. Yeah, okay. I probably spend like 12 to 16 hours a day behind this very monitor. so like maybe I'm not exactly the right person to harken on that, but let's see, is that better? No, it's not. Is the switch in properly? Looks like it is. I mean, you sit there too more than 8 hours, but you browse Discord, Geek Hack, or look for courses and tutorials or inspiration regarding 3D stuff. Yeah, like I'm not saying that I'm looking at like code editors 8 hours a day. I'm just saying that like sort of even if like my sort of entertainment PC were mobile, like I would very likely still end up like just using it docked, which like is kind of sad if I start thinking about it, but well, you know, it is unprecedented times and everything. Honestly, I just use that as an excuse to deal with my indoors hobbies most of the time. Okay, that got a little bit better. Still not perfect, but a little bit better. I'll just start adding keycaps once again, and then I'll like have a slightly better overview of what exactly is crooked and what isn't. Outdoors patch when? I don't know. WAS. Let's see, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Quite fluent with Fusion, starting to learn NX and KDF for future work. That sounds like some rather high-profile stuff there. Why am I having a hard time fitting the switch onto the... Okay, there we go. Well, at the same moment you said Docker, you closed it because Docker containers and stream is too much for your RM1. Wow, really? How many do you have running? Or like... Did you like allocate all of your memory for them? Or like what's up? Because that does not sound... okay. Right. Eight gigabytes not enough for development? Yeah, probably. Like, it's probably fine if you're like developing stuff for yourself and like only have like a few lightweight node machines running or something. But I imagine that like that's going to end really fast if you well, I mean, not can imagine, but I am in a situation where like I have to run many Docker containers on my 16-inch MacBook Pro every day, and I think I have like 12 out of the think I have like 12 out of the 16 gigabytes of memory allocated to just Docker. And like, sometimes it's still not enough. Plus, like for some reason, I think there's like a kernel bug or something that in the images that we use that kind of makes the CPU usage of some node applications kind of spin out of control. Okay. By the way, can you guys hear a cat making loud noises? Hold on. Right, so just as with the last stream, Susie has been making demands, so say hi to the stream, Susie. This is one of the new cats. He's very fluffy and he is larger than our other cats. So, does he have a belly? No, he's actually quite slim. He's just like a large cat. Belly rub now. Oh. There we go. Oh, he started making dough in the air. Oh, that's a female name. Yeah, well, Susie is, but Susie is an old Estonian word for wolf. So we call him Susie or Swiss, which roughly translates into slipper. He's a fluffy boy. The air swimming cat while belly rubs? Yeah. That is how he rolls. Making biscuits. Yeah, do I have my own server on Discord? I do not. Like, I haven't really sort of seen the point in having one. Maybe I will at one point or another, but like, I mean, I get like under 10 viewers on average, so like, there's literally no point for me to try and kind of build like a separate community of my own or whatever. Just kind of keeping it chill and keeping it humble. You do kind of have one of my favorite novelties en route to me. SA apes with that juicy apes enter novelty. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sorry. Window the Blackfish followed me this minute. Thank you very much for the follow. I really appreciate it. And hi, welcome to the stream. What brings you here this lovely day? I don't like novelties that are just text saying the theme of the set. No, I don't. Although, one of the first sort of real sets that I bought was Essay Leviathan, which does have a novelty that says, well, you guessed it, Leviathan. But I did really like the rest of its aesthetic, so I was okay with that. You just bought a Bakeneko and was wondering what people thought of it and saw my stream? Okay. Well, if you want to know what I think it is a very nice board. I think it's an even nicer board if you live in the US and don't have to pay $80 for shipping. Am I salty about this? Yes. Do I recommend getting one for myself? No, I do not. Are the other cats also in the room with me, and do they like chewing on cords and stuff? Fortunately, they've been kind of really good about cords in general. I guess I've sort of gotten lucky on that. I do have one other cat in the room with me, but she is napping right now, so maybe I'll show her off a little bit later. As you can hear, Susie is making fairly loud demands, and I think I do want to get a sip to drink, so I think I'm going to take a few minutes of break time, and I'll be back right after that, maybe show off some cats, finish putting on the keycaps, and then align some more of the switches. So I will BRB. I need to change the text to PRB once again. There we go. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that little treat. My apartment is super messy right now because we just took like a bunch of deliveries today, and there's like boxes and cables and everything everywhere. But yeah, that's our cats. And Valmar, or Northhound in the chat, has actually had the honor of meeting all of them, so... Okay, I messed up. I'm not sure if these are copyrighted, but for background music you usually listen to Blue Turtle on YouTube. These tracks are actually licensed via a platform called Artlist. So I should be like good on the copyright front. I like pay a yearly subscription and get to use their stuff in my streams and videos. It's not super cheap, but the music is really nice, and I do really enjoy the selection that they have. UIOP, right. Okay, I'm trying to sort of see if there's like any more glaring switch alignment issues. I can see that the U key is definitely not in the proper position that it should be in. It's almost as if the switch is not in right. Let me try and fix that. Would you kindly melt? Ah. It looks like I had unplugged my soldering iron. I will quickly go and grab a Red Bull. Hey Laura. Nothing interesting on Geek Hack. Time to delve deeper onto Z Frontier. Okay. I thought you said that you're not going to go on Geek Hack anymore. Cannot hear me. Can other people hear me? Just out of interest. Testing 1, 2. Anyone? Okay, it looks like at least Goniotor can hear me, because he did respond to something that I said. So I don't have a keyboard on my desk right now. Could someone tell Laura that the problem might be on her end? You can hear me, okay. You, right. Don't worry about it. Making a Dumbo of yourself? Why? Like, why would you make a Dumbo of yourself by helping someone else? Did I try Gather on CJ? Your headphones were turned down. Okay. I have not tried Gather on CJ. Should look into getting like some more new and interesting switches. I do have a bunch that like I have gathered, but I haven't really had the time to test out yet. Then I should. Okay, noted. Okay. I'll take your word for it. You like switches that sound different from others? Okay. Yeah, makes sense, really. Okay, I think this is about as good as we're going to get it, like alignment-wise. Maybe like on the screen, like it looks much different than it does in real life. Like maybe this, maybe we can fix this G. Gathered CJ and cows lately, and you're happy with them. Okay. Hey Fred. Yeah, cat keycaps. Very conveniently, this is for the Canon Keys Bakeneko, which is also a cat themed, well, theme. It is a unicorn mount budget 60% board by Canon Keys. Or, well, I mean, technically the design is open source. Canon Keys just like went ahead and produced a bunch. It's not Bakeneko, it's Bakeneko. I think there's like, I am not well versed in Japanese culture, but I think there is a difference. I remember there being a quote in Cyberpunk 2077 where I forget his name, like the guy that helps the protagonist. He like makes a reference to Bakeneko being like a sort of a cat that comes and collects spirits. Not Silverhand, no. I'm really bad with names, I'm sorry. What set is this? This is Cat PBT. It was not in group buy. You should be able to buy it in stock from a Korean site called Swag Keys. Silly name for a keyboard stuff store, but well, I mean. Okay. So before we press fit, just like let's just like try and make sure that the switches that we soldered in actually work. $48, yeah. I know that some of the earlier batches had issues, QC issues, like as far as the legend alignment goes. For some of them, like for example, the sort of print on the shift key was like way on the edge here, and they like didn't super align properly. But for me, like this is the cheapest keycap set that I own, and like it is not the worst quality keycap set that I own. Right, let's see if we can get some beeps out of Via. So bad news, spacebar doesn't work. That is really bad. Well, Q works, and Q was the key that had the issue. So let's try and debug. Let's try and debug the spacebar issue. Actually, before I disconnect it, I'm going to try and bridge the two pins just to see if the traces are okay. They are not. That's interesting. Okay, did I somehow mess up the PCB? It would appear to be so. What kind of makes this really frustrating is that, like, in order to actively be able to debug it, like, I need to keep the daughterboard cable connected to the case. As you can see, like, this is where the USB plugs in. If we take a look at VIA, hit reset, then, like, even if I bridge the two contacts using these, like, nothing happens. If I try the pads next to it, then I do get a key press registered. So this is super weird. I will try and reflow the solder joints. If I do not get that to work, then I will do a dirty hack and just try and bridge the contacts. Ow, what the hell? Okay, I'm still not getting any key presses registered. This is super concerning. Okay, so upon closer inspection, it looks like I've lifted one of the pads, like this one here. Susie, why are you being loud? You have food. You do not want to be in my lap. Okay, let's try this. He's now in my lap, so maybe that's going to work a little bit better. Susie wants some screen time. Well, you better start making donations to the cat shelter then. Here's some screen time. See, he is making dough. That is adorable. You are adorable. You recently had an open day in your animal shelter. That's really cool. Me and my girlfriend used to go and walk dogs and play with cats in like a cat shelter in Tallinn. But shortly before the pandemic, actually, they sort of discontinued that as an option, unfortunately. So yeah. Cat in the background as well. Yeah, that's CD. Okay, looks like my theory was correct. I've lifted this pad in a way that it doesn't make any contact at all with the copper trace on the PCB anymore. So in order to fix that, we are going to be doing a dirty hack. I just had my leg bitten. Not my toes, my leg. Is hairy sausage. Susie, in fact, is a hairy sausage. So what we're going to do is we're going to be adding a jumper from the 6.25U spacebar position to where it actually should go. And hopefully that fixes all of our issues. If it doesn't, then, well, I'm going to be real sad. Harry Susie? Ah, okay, now I see. Now I see what you're trying to do there. Sorry it took me a while. Yeah, that's a CD. Well, CD, or a seed in general, translates into silk in Estonian. And she has very silky fur, so we call her CD. Nice wordplay, yeah. Well, our cats are Susi, which stands for wolf, Sidi, which stands for silky, Sabru, which stands for like this sort of stripy, frizzy kind of a pattern, and then Safran, or Saf. Which, well, you know, saffron. Okay. That's not gonna play. Maybe I should have waited with this stream until my desoldering gun arrives. But I guess this is one of those live and learn kind of things. Okay, did that stick? Well, it's ugly. Which was not really our purpose, but spacebar works now, so you know, I'll take the W where I can. Okay, so now to reassemble the entire thing. Oh my god, the spacebar sounds so much better than it did before, actually. Let's see if everything still works or if something's getting shorted out. just to confirm that the function layer does in fact still work. Okay. Alright, looks like everything works as it should. I'm really happy to see that, to be fair. You should have put maybe your box shade on there on spacebar. Nope. I am not a fan of clicky switches. Although, like if I were to build a keyboard with clickies, it would probably be a box navy or a box jade build. Like those are the only clickies that I've sort of felt sound good enough. But like Cherry MX Blues, not gonna fly. So just like not my jam. Not to be like a hater or anything, but yeah. Okay, so that's taken care of. So what do you say we do a quick sound test or like a quick typing test, and then move over to modifying the KBDFans Blade? How's that sound? Just going to clean up my working space a little bit as well. Don't super want to have like an open container of lube on my desk. Tape mod, yeah. We're gonna get to pick between some pretty interesting looking tapes as well. My girlfriend gave me the go-ahead to like dive into her washi tape collection, and she has some really cool ones. It brings out bondage tape. Well, you see, that doesn't stick to anything but itself, so that's a no-go. I do have experience with bondage tape, but maybe not in the context that you might think. I used it years and years and years ago to aid in stretching my ears. You take your jewelry and you like put like a layer or two of bondage tape around it like every couple of days or like every week or so, and that like made it a lot easier to transition between different sizes. But yeah, that's Monday evening gore out of the way. So, alright, what were we gonna do? Right, I'm gonna get the desk mic into position. Okay, there we go. Zoom in a little. Make sure that it's nice and centered. I can be a little bit particular about these things, so I'm sorry about that. Let's stop the music and switch the scene. What was I gonna do? Right, a typing test. There we go. Right, now we should be using the desk microphone as well, so correct my fingers, get that out of the way, and here we go. All right. Feel-wise, I actually, well, let me swap back to the other mic. Feel-wise, I actually really like how this spacebar feels and sounds now. I mean, this makes you better aware of the meows going on around me as well, but this is how it sounds. And like as far as flex goes, or like bounciness, then like on my desk it does bounce quite a little. Could be because I am on 2 layers of dust mat, but like if you take a look here, like it has quite a bit of compression to it if I push in the switches, and it feels like really sort of it feels like really lively, if that makes sense. Like it's not it doesn't feel super rigid at all, but it's not like mushy at the same time. It like kind of bounces the switches back, and I really appreciate the feel of the board this way. So yeah, that is the Canon Keys Bakeneko. Looks a little bit better than it did before. I still see some issues in the alignment of the switches, which I will maybe fix going forward. If they annoy me. If they don't, then, well, I probably won't. The next thing that we're going to be taking a look at is the KBDFans Blade. And why I haven't switched back to the usual microphone is that I also want to do like a before and after kind of a typing test thing. So let's try and get that out of the way first. This I built one night before I built the Bakeneko. So let's see. Sure, the flex you feel like for bouncy experience you need to get soft as hell mounting / plate, as you're using 45 or 55 gram springs. Yeah, I'm not sure what the exact weight of Gateron Cup Yellows is, but they're not heavy. I think they're like 50-ish, and it does sound really nice. But yeah, let's try and do a typing test in this guy as well. All right, 99 words per minute. Once again, the words per minute doesn't really matter. What we're kind of listening for is the overall typing sounds of the board. This one, like as far as I can tell, or like at least for my tastes, it sounds kind of hollow, or like a little bit too resonant for, a little bit more resonant than I would like it to be. And while I did try and add the case foam to the bottom of it, then what it did improve things, but it didn't really make it perfect. And like I ended up still not really using this board that much, primarily because I don't really like the sound and the feel. The other thing that really bothers me about this board is that I'm not sure if this is an issue with cat sets at large, or if I just like sort of had bad luck, but the space bar is sort of warped in the sense that it's bent enough to restrict the travel of the space bar, up and down travel, both. So like it kind of feels a bit sluggish, or like it kind of feels like it gets stuck. If I swap this space bar out with the 7U space bar from the cat theme set, then sorry, I've forgot to swap mics again, then it was a lot better. So I am pretty sure that it is the spacebar and not like the switch or the stabs. So yeah, we are gonna try and address the sound and see if there's like maybe something that we can do about the spacebar feel as well. But first of all, let's put the sound or the music back on. Okay, so to get this loose, I am going to have to undo a few keycaps, or like deattach some keycaps. If I remember correctly, then it has 4 screws in total. It is a tray mount board, so okay, one's here. Looks like I've completely forgotten where the screws are. Do I like tray keys? This is actually the only one that I own right now. I did have the polycarbonate tofu 60 as well, but since the case material was vastly different, and since I think I built it with silent tactiles or something, then like, well, I mean, it was the second board that I owned, and shortly after I built my next board, I gave it away to Walmart. So I don't know. I don't know if I like tray boards. I do really like the feel of the 2 gasket mount boards that I have, the VAS60 R1 and R2, and I do really like the Bakeneko, like feel-wise as well. Right. So it looks like I pulled off way too many keycaps. This feels really heavy as well. Like I don't know if I can like sort of properly convey, but it feels like much heavier than like a cherry profile spacebar. I don't know. Currently, I'm not a super fan of how this board sounds and feels, but maybe the tape mod will fix that. Otherwise, I think I'm probably gonna be selling it. So yeah, whether or not I like tray mount boards can probably be illustrated by how many keycaps I needed to remove to sort of figure out where the screws are. So I think that's probably going to answer your question already. Right. Is that Cat Space Cadet? Yes, it is. I'm still not sure how I feel about the profile. I've gotten like really used to cherry profile, so like I used to use SA, but the issue with that was that it was a little bit too high for me. And since I do spend a lot of time at the computer every day, then I ended up getting wrist pains. But I'm not 100% saying were caused by the profile, but they did go away immediately after I started using primarily cherry style keycaps. I guess another option was like using a wrist rest. That did make things a little bit better, but still. So yeah, I think I might be selling this this keycap set as well if I don't sort of start getting along with it too well. Could get some cherry key set instead that I actually use, you know. You tried cat and didn't like it. Concern about quality. Sold, cancelled, deliver cat sets, which were many of. In fact, first set you ordered was Cat Lucky Jade. Waited pretty much 1.5 years and then cancelled it. Okay. Yeah, the quality is a bit. I'm not 100% like sure I like the feel that cat sets have, or like sort of the texture of the keycaps themselves. All right, so here we can see that I do have case foam in it, and it was still quite pingy. So They're smooth and not crispy whatsoever. Yeah, I think that might actually be what annoys me about them the most. It's just like this weird in between texture. For reference, I do enjoy how PBT sets feel, for example. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to be looking to tape the backside of the PCB. So let me quickly grab the washi tapes. And we're back. Right, so this is the washi tape situation in the house. My girlfriend absolutely loves them and has a really nice collection of them. So we're going to be picking something that goes well with maybe the color scheme of the board. Okay, so this is one option. It's not sure if you can see it. Hello? Will the camera please focus? There we go. It's like this night scene. The cat's getting really loud. Winter? No, I'm not sure. No, probably not, because like there's reflections in the water and everything. This is a really nice one that I feel matches the color of the PCB. Let's see which other cool ones are here. The Beauty Guru trick to focus, put your hand behind it, yeah. The camera that I'm using unfortunately has really bad autofocus, but kind of nice everything else, so... Okay, this is kind of cool, and what I like about this is that I wouldn't have to apply that many strips of it to cover the back of the PCB, and it looks bomb, so, you know. Looked like houses lit in winter with reflection of lake, yeah, something like that. Let's see, what is this? Okay, this is also a really nice one with storks, I think. Unfortunately, she's not at home right now. Otherwise, she could probably like maybe recommend me something, but okay, this I have to use. It's so cool. Yeah, I don't think I dare to dig that much deeper. Time to sing Last Christmas? No. I will not. I'm sorry. Right. So, what kind of a composition could we make out of these? Maybe like have this green one on the top, then this one in the middle, and maybe like a layer of the forest on the bottom. What do you guys think? Like this. Sounds nice? Okay. You wish you had a cat or a dog. You're always jelly of people with them. Get one. Like, honestly. Like, getting an animal companion is... well, for me at least, like, I have had cats in my family my entire life. Oh no, you're allergic. That sucks. Yeah, then like disregard anything that I said. I'm not gonna say anything to make it worse. I think there are like some breeds that are like allergy friendly, or like at least allergy friendlier. than your default tabby house cat. But like I'm not sure of the like extent of that, so all you can do is, you don't know, fish. Well, I mean, my mom has a really nice aquarium. And like she absolutely loves taking care of the fish. And well, her cats absolutely love it as TV, so. Okay. Non-allergic cats and dogs do trigger your allergy. Okay. That's a bummer. That is a bummer. Oh no, I tore it a little. That's fine. It overlaps properly still. One of your exes had 3 cats and dogs, and damn it, it was a nightmare staying at her place. Yeah, oh, okay. That does sound like it would not be a good time for someone allergic to furry animals. Sneezing, red eyes, and coughing. Okay, yeah. That does not sound like a good time. And I'm guessing that like these sort of I don't even know what to call them, like antihistamines, I think. I'm guessing those are sort of only really temporary. Or like you can like take medication and like be fine for a little while, but only a little while, right? If they work. I know that they do work for some people. If you're in a place with cats and dogs for too long, you have some breathing issues. Yeah, that does not sound good. Great. We're going to be setting the sticker out aside just to make sure that the entire thing doesn't unfurl while we're not looking. Oh, this is looking lovely. This has like a separate adhesive back on it. Doesn't stick to itself necessarily. Girlfriend is also allergic but less than you, wants a huge dog or cat. Okay, that does not necessarily have super good implications on you guys living together in the future, right? Or right now even. Let's check the width of this. Okay. Live together, you won't have any animal as you would both be dying. Yeah, probably for the best. I mean, I guess if you like want to hang out with cats and dogs, then there's like shelters that allow you to walk dogs or like play with cats. If you like prepare and like maybe take some antihistamines, then you like might be fine for like a few hours at least. Or maybe you guys have some friends that have animals and can visit. Okay. When it's warm, you go to the park to look at people's dogs. No, it's not awkward at all. I think it's really nice actually. And like most dog owners aren't super opposed to people just like looking at their dogs. So like you love to look at other people's cats and dogs. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. Oh no. We messed up. We've got like a tear. I do not want to like waste the part that I have unrolled. So I will stick this down and then clip it. You once saw a cute dog on the walk. You decided that you must pet it, but there was a problem. You were on a motorcycle, but you needed to do it. You stopped, rolled to the girl and the dog, and asked if you can pet the dog. Okay. That's really wholesome, somehow. Yeah, Samoyeds are really fluffy. Northhound in the chat actually has one. And Deosact in the chat also has one. So yeah, we've met a few. It is a walking cloud. My girlfriend also really likes them, but hadn't ever pet one until we ran into one of my old friends on a walk that was walking her Samoyed, and she got to pet a Samoyed for the first time in her life. And I asked her how it was, and she said that she feels like she's been cheated a little bit because while she did intensely pet the dog, she didn't actually get to the dog because the dog was so fluffy. So yeah. Samoyeds are really nice, and like the ones that I've met have been really friendly as well. When it comes to between cats and dogs, then like I personally have a preference towards cats, but that is because I feel like they are sort of much easier to take care of properly. I feel that like I wouldn't perhaps handle the responsibility of having a dog super well, or like it's a little bit scary to me. Might get a dog one day, but maybe not while I'm living in the city and like in an apartment. Because I do mostly, like the dogs that I do like are mostly like bigger breeds, or just like bigger mutts. And like I don't want to subject a large dog to having to live in an apartment. I did grow up with dogs. We always had a dog in the family in the countryside. Okay, nearly done. There we go. For you, there is no difference if you love your companion. It doesn't matter if it's a dog, cat, or a burb. Yeah, I guess. I'm not like a super outdoorsy person, so the concept of like having to go outside to walk the dog every day sounds like a bit much to handle for me. I know it sounds silly, but yeah. Also, like cats handle their owners traveling much better than dogs do. Hold on, something's going on. I'm hearing noises from the other room. Just a moment. Okay, my fiance got home. Right, so we taped the backside of the PCB, which I think is something that she might want to come and take a look at if she can. Because she is the provider of washi tapes in the family. But I think she's busy right now, so that's fine. Just going to puncture the screw holes. Where is it? Somehow still managed to miss. What the heck? Okay, there we go. That should be the screw hole, yep. Wait, look. Do I have your seal of approval? You do. I do. I know, right? Washi tapes are so cool. Anyway, right, so, where was I? Got distracted. Oh my god, hair. Yeah, people are fans of your hair color. You wanna like come here for a moment? This is Nella. This is my fiance, and she's very supportive of my hobbies, which I really like. And this is Sushi that you've seen thrice, 4 times now. Hello. Oh my god, hair, what? Yeah, this was a bit of a family photo, except that that's half of the family. Do keep in mind that we do have 3 more cats. But you did see all of them earlier in the stream anyway, so all of them. I had a good cat cam thing going. Even the elusive one. You thought that I have 2 cats. Now you say now I say I have 4. Yeah, I did mention that earlier as well, that we had 2 cats, and then we decided that we well, would like 1 more. We went to check her out in the shelter, and well, Susie became our cat really fast in the shelter, so we weren't really left with a choice. We were chosen. Hey man, what's up? Not much. Trying to tape mod or tempest mod this KBDFans Blade. Thus far, the hardest part of which has been aligning the screws with the holes again. Okay, this screw is giving me a little bit of trouble, so I have an idea. Right, so I'm going to undo the one that I did manage to screw in right. I can also unscrew the screws from the bottom, attach those, and then screw them back in through the bottom. It is a little bit of hassle, but I would rather do this than sort of end up banging my head against the proverbial wall for like 15 minutes, trying to get things to work. Or actually, now that I think about it, this is not going to work because the slots in the PCB actually allow for like slight variance in the exact position of the screws, so I'm gonna have to screw that back in. Okay. Wait, what I can do instead is that I can clean up the tape surrounding the screw holes a little bit so that I can better see what exactly I'm doing. Let's see. Normally a little bit wary about using a knife on the PCB, but since I know that these don't like have any componentry behind them, then should be good. What tapes are those? They're called fiancé tapes. Yes. These are washi tapes. My girlfriend can probably quickly quote what they're actually used for.
Looking at them and getting dopamine from how pretty they are.
Okay, sounds fair. How many layers? Just one. I'm gonna see how it feels with just one and work from there. Like I did sort of make the effort of trying to make it look pretty, so hopefully I won't have to add any more. Otherwise, all of that will be for naught. Okay, that one did not go in. Did this one? Yes, it did. Okay, cool. Cool. Two more. Theoretically, since all the tape really does is absorb the vibrations in the PCB, or like at least like sort of project them upwards, then one layer should be enough to do away with like at least a good part of the hollowness of this case. So I'm hoping this will be enough. Right, so since this is kind of like a special case of tray mount, and since the PCB is actually sitting on top of some Porin washers and not like aluminum posts or anything, then like I'm gonna try and make sure that the screws are like even in tension and not too tight. Otherwise I'm gonna lose like some of the cushioning that they provide. I think I am already noticing an improvement, but I feel like it did get better already. Let's do a quick typing test. So right, managed to tab away from it at the last moment, but we sort of forgot to address the spacebar. But I do feel, well, there's no real difference in feel, but the sound is quite a bit different. I'm hearing a lot less of the hollowness and the case resonance. The more like a slightly deeper kind of a thunk. So I think it definitely is an improvement. Still not my favorite board, so I might still sell it. But I feel like it did definitely get better by me doing this. Okay, so here is the music again. I think that pretty much covers what I was going to do today on stream. So, or was there something else? No, I think that was it. So I would like to thank everyone that showed up. Thank you, Not Bad, for following me 3 minutes ago. I somehow managed to miss that. What's the next thing that I'm going to build, or what is it that I've got ordered? Okay, so the next stream that I do is probably going to be rebuilding this guy. This is a Prime KB Meridian. It's really dusty at the moment, which I do apologize for. This is a Prime KB Meridian that is currently built with a mil-maxed PCB, an aluminum plate, and unlubed tangerines in 67 gram springs. I have a POM plate for this, and I want to loop the switches. Otherwise, I'm like happy with the switches, but I'm not super big on how the aluminum plate feels. I prefer like a slightly softer typing experience. So I will be redoing this. Then within November, I should receive delivery of the Create Keeps Thera, which is a 75% board. Plateless. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to build that with yet, but I will be figuring that out. I'm also waiting for the Maker Keyboard Scarlet, which is a TKL. One of the mounting options that it has is very similar to the Bakeneko, so like a gummy worm mount. Can I sound test the board? Yeah, sure. But yeah, also waiting for Maker Scarlet, and I'm also waiting for Wilba Tech Salvation, which should be like sort of the end-all be-all of tray mounts. It has like a really novel popsicle stick kind of a mounting system that I'm excited to try out. But yeah, I haven't typed on this for a while, and it like looks kind of dirty, so I'm really sorry about that. But sure, you wanted a typing test, so you're gonna get a typing test. Let's see. That should be desk mic engaged. Let's try it out. yeah, that's how it currently sounds. The tangerines are a little bit scratchy, I feel, even though they are factory looped. It's not like the most consistent factory loop job, and I do want to redo the stabs as well. Currently, I'm not entirely happy with how they sound on aluminum. So yeah, the typing experience is like fairly harsh, even on 2 desk mats, and that's like one of the things that I don't really like about aluminum plates anymore. So yeah, that will hopefully be like a much nicer and softer build down the line. Right. Looks like the cats are going to talk whenever I type. Yeah. Tangerines are smooth when you loop them. Yeah, like I have no doubt about that. I think I am going to use not Krytox 205 G1, which is I think what I have, but I'm going to use like a slightly more liquidy Tribosis lube that I have sitting around, and I think I'm still going to use like the same Victorinox knife oil to lube the springs, because I've been really happy with how this has performed, and I don't really have access to GPL 105. But yeah, that is, I guess, it. That's the stream. Once again, thank you to everyone that tuned in. I will perhaps be doing my next stream, maybe of this board, next Monday at the same time, so roughly at around 6 GMT +2 or +3. I'm not even sure what time zone we're in right now even. So yeah, catch you in the next one, and bye.